Talkin with Tasha, Talking with Tasha. Welcome back to Talking with Tasha. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming back to episode 84 of Talkin with Tasha. And it's June, it's Pride Month, so I got myself a special guest. Her name is Kathy Anderson. She has a collection of short stories that focus on older lesbian queer stories. She is an author, a librarian, a lesbian. So who better to write these kinds of stories than her? So without further ado, please enjoy this conversation with Kathy Anderson. Okay, Kathy Anderson. Welcome to Talking with Tasha. I appreciate your time. Yeah. And I like to start from the start, I guess. Where are you from originally? You're an author, but a lot of people grow up saying, I want to be a writer or I want to be a baseball player. Doesn't mean we all do it, you know? So just kind of, let's go back a little bit. Where are you from originally and how did we become a writer?
What a great question. I love answering this because I remember so vividly. So I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware. I have a very big family, 7 brothers and sisters, and we had this back porch and we used to play author, the card game. And at that time, there was one female author in it, as I recall, and that was Louisa May Alcott. And all the rest were men. And I said to myself, I want to be an author. Like I really literally remember that thought. And so it's been a while since then, but I'm fortunate that I knew.
In my research of you, you also have been a librarian for 25 years or were a librarian for 25 years. And as a public, was it a public library or was it in a school?
Public.
Okay. So public librarian, how do you think that experience shaped the stories you tell now? Or just, I feel like it has to kind of shape you as a person too. Like you deal with all people, like libraries are where people gather and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I always say to be a librarian is the best possible day job for a writer because everybody on earth comes into a public library. And I actually chose it very specifically because I knew I had to make a living in a way that would not hurt my soul. And I love public libraries. I grew up, going to public libraries and I just believe in them. And also they were early on I think they were the very first professional association, queer professional association within the larger American Library Association. So when I saw that, when I was trying to find out what I would do for a living, it was either that or go work for like a pizza manager in a restaurant. So I'm like, no, I think a librarian would be worth getting a master's in that because they had already established that they were in favor of equality and diversity, and because it directly affects what people can get in their public library. So that was long ago, that whole movement. I want to say the 70s. So it's been a long time they've been leading the charge. So I was very proud to be a public librarian. The whole time that I worked in public libraries, I was a writer. I was publishing little things here and there, short stories, poems, but so it was never like either or, but it is definitely a wonderful place to work to be a writer.
Yeah, I'm in a book club and a lot of my friends like to read and we talk all the time about like being a librarian must just be the best. But I'm sure there's parts to it that aren't as glamorous. It's not like cozying up with a book all day.
That's very true because you're working with the public. So anybody that's worked with the public. I actually wrote a novel. My second book was a novel called The New Town Librarian. And it was about a city person, a lesbian, middle-aged, who moves to a little small town in South Jersey, a very tiny town, and the culture shock of that. And she's really has to get her act together. She's been a major fuck up her whole life. And so, so this is her second chance at getting it together. So that was really fun. It made me go back and remember what it was like actually day to day. Cause I haven't worked in a library now for a long time, probably 10 years or so, but it made me go back and remember the funny things and the hard things and the heartbreaking things and everything.
I remember right after college being broke, obviously, and I graduated college in 2008 during the recession. So I got laid off from my first sort of big girl job. So I went to the library for all kinds of things because I didn't pay for Wi-Fi. I got movies there. Like a lot of people don't realize you can, get DVDs and things. Like I hung out there a lot
Yeah.
because I was, job hunting. And then I remember as well in college, I mean, we were told about the library. Yeah, we know the library is there, but then the internet came along and you felt like I can do all
Mhm.
my own research. I don't need, but there were a couple times when I had to write a paper and I went and talked to our head librarian. I believe his last name was Fisk, if I'm remembering correctly. And he helped me find so many obscure things. Like that's what they're there for. They're good at that
Yes.
stuff. Like
Absolutely right.
Google's not enough, like
Yes.
I love a librarian. Plus, and I love that you said I had to think of something I could do to make a living that I wouldn't
Yeah.
like hate my life. It's so true. Like, I think we've all had a job where we were like, I can't do this forever. Like, I just can't. Oh, man. And then speaking of, you said something in there about the access to, or, people having access to books and things. So, I mean, obviously it can be controversial, but I feel like we probably agree on this. Like banned books. How did your library handle it? Or did you not care? Or just everybody could have any book they wanted? How does that?
Well, basically, what people don't know about public libraries is that there's a structure that is nationwide. There are written policies and procedures that are standard for every public library. So it wasn't up to my library to do anything different. And we could always point to the American Library Association. Take it up with them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, it was definitely a much gentler time in terms of that, the censorship that's going on now. But the fact that you have this firm foundation to stand on, makes it a much just more safe and comfortable, and in the end, there's much more access because of those policies.
I guess I didn't realize. I mean, I suppose in the back of my mind, I knew most public libraries probably had to adhere to a certain level of guardrails and things. But yeah, I guess that's you kind of it's what's the word? It's governed in a certain
Hmm.
way. Yeah.
Yes.
Your latest book,
Oh, that looks so
Vamoose.
pretty.
Yeah. Oh, and can I just say this is the first time I've ever been sent something that was advanced copy. I felt so special. um but so and it's a collection of short stories, and you mentioned you had written a novel previously. So do you consider yourself a short story writer who also writes novels, or a novelist who writes short stories?
Oh, well, this is actually my second short story collection. So I
Okay.
have to say, definitely I work more in that area. I would love to write another novel or many more, but I don't, I believe in the jinx. So, I can't go down that road. But the beauty of short stories is that you can write them individually and publish them individually before you try to see, will they fit into a book? And so there's kind of that flow continues, as opposed to a novel. Maybe you write a novel and maybe it takes you many, many years to get a publisher or an agent or whatever. And you just have to, there's no like publishing parts of it for the most part. So I love short stories for the beauty of the form. The first time I, had that high from like nailing the ending, nailing the voice, and it's sometimes 10 or 13 pages, like it's just a high. Whereas a novel, you can kind of relax and go on and on and on. And, it's a whole different experience.
I'll be honest, I didn't read the whole thing because life, but I did read, like, I got through 3 or 4 of them yesterday when I was getting my hair done. And this kind of leads me to my next question. Like, how do you know whether an idea should be a short story or a novel? Because even the first short story about the two friends, I feel like that could have, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but I feel like I need more about them. So, like, how do you decide? Or do you just know? Is there something that you just know?
I think what you ended up saying is exactly how I feel. I don't decide anything really. I just feel my way along. And so I tried to write that story 5 million times in different ways, long, short,
Yeah, yeah.
And what happened when it started to kind of become a story told in pictures over time, it just felt right. And it felt like I could build in two voices, and I felt like I could just, build in that way, and it worked to me. So that's kind of all I can go on. I believe me, I wish I could just say, "Oh, I like this short story. I'm going to turn it into a 350-page novel." But, there's just sometimes not the energy is for a certain specific duration, and then if you don't feel that energy and movement, and you don't feel that you want to devote, you feel like it's right as it is. You
Yeah.
have to stop there.
Yeah, the two characters, Alondra and Chrissy, right? Like I said, I didn't get through all of the short stories, but I feel like the common thread of all of them is like at the end I go, "Oh," like is that what you find yourself writing the most, is stories about connection and belonging, or like what draws you to that?
Definitely connection and belonging, but I'd say the most important thing to me is that you feel something at the end, as opposed to you think something at the end. Like
Mm,
I love to be that as a reader. I want to read a book that moves me or makes me, moan or cry or laugh. Like I want to feel something. And I'm not fond of like technically nice, words and phrases or a plot that's intricate. I want to be moved. So that's,
mhm.
I guess we all just do what we would want to see in a book.
I saw what it was titled, and then one of the short stories is called Vamoose, so I
Mhm.
read that one, obviously. And it's the last one, and that was sad. They're all, I mean, sad but not sad. It's about death and letting go, and I mean, like I said, I of the ones I read, I went, "Oh," at the end of all of them. So, I mean, I guess what job well done, because I did. I felt the thing that I was supposed to, I guess. But I guess why that word? Like, why, of all the short stories and the things they're about, why title the whole collection that?
It took a while to get to that point, but with 15 short stories, all with older women in them, and many with older queer women, there's a thread, but it's not like very tight. So it's kind of like as I worked on putting it together, I was thinking, what is a common element? And when I got to that Vamoose story, that is simply one word said internally. It's a thought of one of the characters. But yet, when I got there, I thought that is the word because, and again, it's just an instinctive feeling. When I went back and looked at each of the story's plots, characters, situations, they're all very different. They still somehow related to that word, which means to me, it's kind of a colloquial, slangy word, and it's an old word. So it's not something really currently used all that much, but it has some element of get out of here,
Right.
get away, So
Shoot.
all of
Like,
all of those stories, I feel like had something in there that I could relate that word to. And I think there's a lot about sound in my writing, and I love the sound of it. And I felt like the sound was very bold.
mm-hmm.
And that's what these women are. They are bold. They are doing something unexpected. They are doing something surprising. It's not a, conventional bunch of conventional women. So
Mm-hmm.
Vamoose seemed to fit with all that.
Yeah. It is a collection of stories primarily about women, and they're navigating friendships, relationships, change, loss, self reflection, like all these things. And some of the themes are also like humor and heartbreak. Is that kind of how you view life, or are those like two elements that have been important to you, or did you try to do that?
I think humor is probably the most human thing that we all need, especially when we're in a situation. And we've all been in those situations where, like, just that little touch of humor or being able to look at something in a funny way, or it's just life is unpredictable and unpredictable is funny. So, for example, in that story, the Vamoose story, there's mice in the story. That's
Hmm.
pretty unpredictable.
Right, right.
So like things like that, like I think I'm trying to, I think, just appeal to the human side that we can all relate to. And
Yeah.
also, I love to read funny books myself. And it's the highest compliment that anybody pays me to say, your book is hilarious.
I in the the Vamoose story, there I could picture it almost like a sitcom. Like they have their dying mother there. There's this exterminator that's there. Like, should I be here? Or like like you can see, like I can see it. Like I was like, yeah, this is not how you'd think this scenario would go.
Oh, that's great to hear. That's exactly what I hoped.
Yeah, it was funny. I guess you but touched on this a little bit, saying that first story had a bunch of different iterations and you kind of weren't sure what to do with it. But so which story in the collection came together the easiest and which one was the hardest?
Honestly, one of the stories in the book had its origin about 30 years ago. So I would say that has to be the hardest, like getting to the final product. And it's the one about a lesbian former foster child. She's now a middle-aged woman looking for love and has carrying all this from her childhood along with her. So that was probably the hardest. And
What's that one called?
it's called Harry Govinda.
Okay. I skipped around and did not read that one, but I will.
And are any of them easy? I'm thinking. Honestly, there are some that pour out of me and it's in their first draft easily. And then I'm a real editor. Like I go back time and again until honestly, that's what the hard thing is about short stories. It feels like almost like a poem. Every word has to be right to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that's some of the shorter pieces that are a stream of consciousness, I guess you would say. They came out quickly at first, and then I took time to just revise and make every word right. You'd be surprised how often our own speech patterns, like everyone has words they say all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You will never know all of the words that you repeat and use a lot until you write a book.
Or until you edit a podcast, because
yes.
And you'd think it would stop me from doing it, but I still do it.
We all have patterns and we don't know our patterns.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's so true. And I remember I used to edit my brother's papers. I was always more of a words person and my brother was more a numbers guy. So like I'd edit his stuff in high school and college. And even though when I talk, I use like a lot, like you said, we have filler words, we do things like that. But when I write, I don't say like every other word or whatever, but my brother would. And I was like, what are you doing? You can't write how you talk. But to him, he's like, what's the big deal? Yeah. Anyway, good thing he had me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Little brothers, I tell you. What do you hope? We've touched a lot on the themes and stuff. And I mean, I guess you said you do hope people feel something or think it's funny, but is there one thing in particular that you hope readers take away from Vamoose?
I would say I hope that people take away some feeling that maybe they don't know what older women are really like. Because to me, there's a lot of surprise in these characters. And so I would hope maybe it would open up people's eyes to be treating or listening to older women as real individuals with huge life stories that maybe are not talked about a lot. And I'm now in that group. And I think, we all, no matter what age we are, we all have a quick assessment of other people based on, it's just how we operate as a human being. But I think old age is very surprising. So I tried to capture some of that. And and I'm really kind of thrilled with the first responses coming in. It just was published this week. But with some of the other advanced readers and the Bookstagram people, like I can, tell from the responses and reviews that some of that appeal is reaching all different age groups. Yeah, to just appreciate them as human beings and individual people. Maybe somebody you would want to have coffee with, even though the facts of that person you might not relate to at all.
Right. And I think, you said it's a lot of older women, queer stories, but it's all relatable. We all go through the same stuff. Like life is relatable, what I mean? So I enjoyed what I read of it. And, going back to the humor thing, like life can be funny. I'm definitely one of those people. At the worst time, it'll be super serious and I'll say something and be like, oh, was that too soon? Like, I don't know. I'm so bad. I laugh at the worst times. And
Yeah.
Like during the national anthem, I always want to laugh. I don't know why, just because it's quiet, I think. I don't
Yeah. And I
But
think we all have funeral stories, right?
oh, yeah, for sure.
Where
Yeah.
some little thing goes on and the whole back row erupts. And it's like a release of tension. And
Hmm.
it's so great. I'm glad humor is part of our makeup as humans
Yes,
because I
yes.
don't know how we get through anything without it, really.
And like you said, the your books just came out like this week. It's
Mhm.
June. It's Pride Month. I'm wearing my here in South Dakota. We have this rainbow buffalo as our
Oh,
like sort
cool.
of. I don't know if you can see that. That's kind of the Sioux Falls Pride logo and everything.
Oh,
So,
cool.
so why do you think it's important, especially now, to tell queer stories that focus on everyday life and humor and all of the themes of this?
Well, one of the really important things to me is that it's queer older lesbians. Because to me, when I really, think about representation or try to find things to read and watch, it's getting much better for, representation younger, but you almost can't, they're almost invisible, older lesbians in books and movies and entertainment. So that was important to me to like just shine a spotlight on that part of it. And, you know, the, the whole celebrating of pride, however we can do it these days, let's live it up because this
Yeah.
is craziness right now.
Ugh. There's here in Sioux Falls, and I think nationwide, there's a No Kings March on the 14th, but that's Pride weekend here in Sioux Falls. So I already have tickets to drag brunch, and I was like, that's a form of protest in itself. So,
That's absolutely right.
so I was like,
It's all good.
yeah, yeah. As a librarian and a reader and a writer, what do you think, especially in 2026, what makes a library special now, or why are they still important?
They're free. I'm serious. I
Yes,
often
yes.
think to myself, like, why are you buying an ebook, so and so? They're free at the
Hmm.
library. I mean, there
Yeah.
are just so many ways that they can make. Many people are struggling. And like you said, when you're a college student, you discovered all the things the library has. I shouldn't say free; it's paid for by tax dollars. So there is a cost behind the scene, but like to get a library card is free.
It's for
Um,
you too. Like you're helping pay for
exactly,
it. So yeah.
exactly. One other thing I'll say too, along those lines, is that people don't know about libraries, is libraries like to purchase books and materials that people want. So if there's a book you want to read and your library doesn't have it, you can always fill out a request form for them to buy it. So what that does for the library is they know, well, at least one person wants to read that book, as opposed to buying something from a review and maybe it'll sit on a shelf and not
Hmm.
appeal to anybody. So just encourage people to, use their libraries for sure.
I saw a meme the other day, and maybe you're the just right person to ask if it's true because I didn't fact check it, but it's on the internet, so it must be true. Um, it said even if you don't utilize a library a lot, you should go get a library card because the funds are distributed by how many people are, using the library. So if their numbers are good as far as how many cards are out there, they'll get more resources. Is there any truth
Yes.
to that? Okay.
Yes, there is. And also even if you don't take out a book, they count people in the building. They count people going to events, and they go before their city council and say, "We had 20,000 people in the library in August," or whatever. It
Yeah,
really
yeah.
does help.
I know you said you played that game when you were a kid. There was only one female author, and I mean, I guess I want to say there weren't as many queer authors. There probably were. They just weren't
True.
advertising it.
Right.
But have you noticed changes in the LGBTQ plus publishing world recently, or have there in your time being a writer?
I honestly say I don't know much about that. I've been published by three different publishers. Not really not really an expert on publishing trends.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I spend all my energy trying to get a book published one by one. So I'm sorry, I don't have a very good answer for that,
Oh,
except
that's fine.
I really do feel that queer publishing is thriving from what I can see because there aren't any barriers now with print on demand. You don't have to have a warehouse, you don't have to have an office. There are, wonderful small publishers that are doing a lot to get books out there.
Has being a writer changed the way you read?
Probably for the worse, because often, I mean, I usually have 3 or 4 books going at a time, and so
I
if
can't
I
do
have to
that, but
concentrate
yeah.
if I have to concentrate and read something that's serious, I have to do it while my energy's good and my concentration's good. If in bed at night, I am not reading a hard book. So in other words, working on a book takes a lot of energy, mental, emotional. So I tend to turn into a trash reader for like long periods of time. I shouldn't say trash, more fun reading.
Hey,
Put
we're
it that
yes.
way.
I feel this, when they say there's guilty pleasures in music and stuff,
Yes.
it should make you feel
Yes.
guilty. Like if you like it,
Yes.
it's fine. Like same with trash. If you like some
Absolutely.
smutty hockey stuff, read it. I don't
What,
care.
whatever works to kind of calm your brain
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get you in a good mood. It's all good.
Yes, yes. And it's so funny in my book club, we've read a whole gamut of things, but it's funny every time we do read something that's a little more quote unquote trashy or romancy or something,
Right.
we come back to book club and we're like, eh. Like we like the more
Yeah.
depressing
Yeah.
stuff. There's more to talk about when it's
That's right.
terrible for some reason.
Right. But I think everyone would agree there's a real place in our lives for fun.
Oh, for
And
sure.
books can be so fun. And I love when like word of mouth starts and everybody starts passing around a book that's just fun, a great mystery or a funny book. And we need that too, I think, for sure. I need it.
Oh, yes, yes. What is a book you wish more people knew about? I mean, besides your own.
Well, I presume we're probably having a lot of queer people listening. So there is a new short story collection that I've been recommending to everyone. The author is Lori Ostland, and she just wrote a short story collection focusing on queer lives that is so wonderful, beautiful, full of heart, and just unique characters. And the title of it is great too. It's called "Are You Happy?"
Oh,
So
good question.
I'll rave about that one.
All right, awesome. And obviously, you saw that there weren't enough older women queer stories, so you started writing them. But what is that the main thing you think there needs to be more of, or what kinds of queer stories would you like to see more of?
Hmm. I don't have a real global perspective on queer writing, I wouldn't say. Like everybody, I read what appeals to me at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I browse in the library and pick something out. So, and I read very widely. I certainly, don't know what percentage, but I certainly don't read all queer, books.
Yes, right,
So I
right.
kind of feel like I don't know what's there and what is missing. So
Yeah.
probably some of our listeners would know better than I do.
I mentioned the hockey smutty books because
Yeah.
Heated Rivalry was big and then Off
Yes.
Campus. I think for me, I did not read the Heated Rivalry books, but I was obsessed with the show. Um, but I think speaking of what I think we maybe need more stories of, is I think why Heated Rivalry was so great for so many people was it didn't end in like tragedy. Like
Yes.
them coming out wasn't the end of the world. I mean, there's season 2, maybe there's going to be some sort of backlash, I'm sure, but it wasn't like I grew up with like Boys Don't Cry and things like just terrible things happening to people. Matthew Shepard was a true life thing that happened when I was a
Oh,
kid,
yeah.
like that's what I was sort of fed my whole life. So it was nice to
Mhm.
see people be happy at the end. It can be happy. Like
Yes,
you said, we need
absolutely.
happy. But yes, it was
We need
nice that
hope. And that
yes, it
gives
was
everyone hope when you read something that's realistically ending in hope. And
yeah. So I'll put my 2 cents in. That's what we need more of. Happy endings. But okay,
there
that
you go.
sounded dirty too. But you know what I mean? Are there any authors that you've read their stuff and you're like, oh, I just wish I could write like that?
Yeah, there are lots actually. One a writer that I love a lot he's just very unique. Like you read one of his sentences and you're like, that's got to be Kevin Wilson. So it's an author. He mostly writes novels. They're just so unique. The scenarios are unique. They have a lot of heart and they're weirdly funny. So that's because if you read him, you'll be like, oh, that's Kevin Wilson funny. So it's a
Mhm.
very I like writers who have such a specific voice that you can kind of spot them a mile away.
I bet you get asked this a lot, but if someone wants to be a writer, what advice do you have for them?
I think the main advice I give is to that you have to have the joy in the doing and not the outcome. So, and that's hard because we all want rewards and we want someone to say, oh, that's great. But if you don't have that built in joy of, oh, I get to sit and write for a couple hours, or I get to edit that story and get it right. Like that's got to be your main thing. And that's a practice that you cultivate. Doesn't I struggled for years, and I'm sure many people do, with a negative editor in my head. Start something, and then the negative editor would be like, "This is terrible," and it made me so slow. So if you can somehow give yourself like that permission to have a nice editor inside, an encouraging editor, and
Yeah.
also the practice. Like there's a famous writing practice called morning pages. Doesn't have to be in the morning, but the ideal is 3 pages without your pen stopping. And you simply just you start encouraging the act of your subconscious coming through your pen. And that's a really good habit for a writer to learn how to start that flow and to keep it going.
You mentioning pen, do you handwrite your stuff, or are you a laptop computer person?
Definitely laptop computer, but that
Okay.
morning pages is really good to do by hand.
Yeah.
It's kind of freeing, and therapists will tell you that if you write out by hand something, it literally moves physically through your body and helps some things get out of you. So
Hmm.
that makes sense to me.
I agree with that. I used to journal, as a teenager and stuff, and I stopped, but I should, and I know I felt better after getting some of the stuff out. So I don't know why I don't keep up with it. But,
Hmm.
or I remember when I had a friend that was in the military. And so when she was in boot camp, you could only send letters. There were no
Hmm.
calls or anything. And some of our letters back and forth to each other would be so many pages thick, because we just keep going, keep going. But it was
Yeah,
weirdly, it was therapeutic in a way. Like it was nice
yeah,
it's hard to explain, but letter writing should make a comeback. I don't know. It was nice at the time.
I mean, that kind of thing is so much better than sitting frozen saying, I can't think of anything. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
in the habit of like, go, 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 go. And you might be very surprised at what comes out, like an idea, a word, a character.
Yeah. So when you're going to write, what's the vibe for you? Do you put some music on? Does it need to be quiet? Do you go to a coffee shop? Do you have a routine? I don't know.
I do. And it is the cone of silence.
Oh,
I
okay.
put the cone of silence. I shut the door. I have dedicated, I'm much better in the morning. And I think people get to know where their best times are. Some people write at 1 a.m. Great. So once you figure out like when is your flow best, when is your concentration best, and mine is definitely I'm a morning person. I find it hard to imagine being the kind of person that's surrounded by a coffee shop conversation. Like all I would do would be transcribing and hoping I heard something cool to put in a story. I'm serious. I have stories that started because I overheard someone on a bus. They had
Hmm.
nothing to do with me. They're talking away. So I am a listener and an
Hmm.
overhearer for sure.
Even in college, I remember some people, if they needed to study, they were like, they'd go to the library, which should be quiet. But
Hmm.
I would even get distracted sometimes at the library because someone would walk in, you'd know, especially like a college library where you're going to probably see someone, or yeah, they'd go to like a late night diner. And I was like, nope, I don't know how you get anything done there. I would be so distracted.
Yeah,
But to each their own, I guess.
exactly.
Yeah. And then these days, there's this AI stuff. As a
Hmm.
writer, how do you feel about it?
Well, I'll just speak for myself. I don't use it in any way. And I feel it is the opposite of what I want to do as a writer. For me, the most important value that I have is this genuine and real from my insides. So my soul, my heart, my mind. So I basically am disengaged from the whole thing. I will say that I know it's very complex, and I really don't judge like the industry, for example. How in the world are they going to cope with this? People
Yeah.
submitting things. So I know it's a very difficult thing, but I feel, very committed to the creative process of like reaching inside, of listening to my inner voice, my intuition, and that kind of thing.
And I've heard some writers of various, like I had one other author on, and her book was very fantasy and based in different mythology and stuff. And she was like, well, I used it mostly for research, which I kind of see that, that could help, I suppose. But yeah, especially the kind of stuff you write though, where it's more like it's literally heartfelt. How can a robot write it? Like that's exactly. And going back to the letter writing, I'm getting on a tangent a little bit.
That's okay.
A girl I work with, she just had, her husband was away at boot camp or something, and she said she used Chat GPT to write him letters. And I was like, your husband? Like, you can't think of what you want to say to your husband. You can't physically, like. And she's a
boy.
I know, she's a 20-something. So I was like, I'm not that much older than you, but I think it's a little more personal to write out what you're actually thinking. It doesn't need to be perfect. Like, it literally is just, anyway.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, me too.
A love letter. That's a love letter.
I know. I literally sat there when she said that, and I was like, I couldn't hide my face. I was like, what? But I don't know. Because I also think back to, we hear stories about people off at war and they wrote letters back and forth. And
yes,
family
so romantic.
Years later.
Yes.
Like, we're going to lose that. I don't want to just sift through emails. Who prints those out? Nobody, like,
it's true.
Somebody write me a letter. What is your favorite book? Can you even name a favorite book?
Oh, this is the hard question. No, but can I change it to a favorite author, please?
Sure.
Okay,
yeah.
Because she has like maybe 10 novels. Her name is Barbara Pym, Pym, and she was a British novelist in the 20th century. And she writes these very quietly hilarious books where women are the main characters, which of course I relate to that. And they're basically a social satire, but they're so unbelievably quietly funny. So she's my favorite author that I reread a lot. I don't reread all that much in life because I feel like life is too short. We have to keep going. But I have a stack by my bedside. And whenever I can't sleep or whenever I need to switch gears, I will pull out her books. And no matter how many times I have reread her, I always land on something different, and she makes me laugh and smile, and she's so smart and funny. So those are my favorite things.
Oh, and that answered another question in there. I was going to say, is there a book you've reread multiple times? But it sounds like I'm not a big rereader either. Like, growing up, Harry Potter was obviously very big, and I have friends that I feel like memorized those books, and I was like, I read them once, that's good enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big rereader either. And I always feel so trite, I guess, when people ask me my favorite book, because I'm always like, everyone says it, but it is To Kill a Mockingbird. Like, I just love that book so much. Like,
yeah. Well, it's kind of perfect.
Yeah. Or I think back to the books that, because when you're in school and they're forcing you to read, it's not always super fun. But the books that always have stuck with me, or like I think back to as my favorites, are the ones that you didn't have to force me to read it.
Right.
I was reading past the due date or whatever, I was. Yeah. And for me, it was The Outsiders. I really got into that book when we had to read it. There was To Kill a Mockingbird. And the one I remember hating the most was The Hatchet. Have you ever read that?
Hatchet? No.
It's about it's a survivalist thing. I don't like camping even. I wasn't into it. It was boring. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on that.
I'm like those kind of shirts people wear that say so many books, so little time. That's my biggest lament in life. There's not enough time.
How do you feel about not finishing a book?
Oh,
again, is
I
there
feel
too little
good
time?
about that.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I tell people all the time, as a librarian, I give you permission. If you if you're not into it, stop. There's 20 million more to read.
Yeah. We talk about that in book club sometimes, about how sometimes you feel guilty not finishing a book, or some people are just like, I have to finish what I start, even though it's like painful to get to the end or whatever. We also have some people in our book club that will look up the ending or read like the last chapter first. Okay, I can tell by your face you don't like spoilers. I am a no spoiler alert kind of person, but I know people that are like, I just have to know what happens. And so how do
Well,
you
you
feel
know
about
what?
that?
I personally do not do that or condone it. But I think everybody should read however they want to read, honestly,
Yeah.
because that's the truth of it. We are all goofballs and we all do our own thing. Um, like for example, my short story collection, some people have said they started in the middle and then jumped around. Other people are like, "Oh no, you can't do that. You have to start in the beginning." I had to start in the beginning, so I only had to whatever. I mean, like it's all good.
Yeah, as long as you're reading,
Yeah.
read.
Yes.
Also, did you see, I think they're bringing Book It back? Speaking of reading, that's very exciting for me as an elder millennial.
I
The
don't
Pizza
know
Hut
book it.
program, the
Oh,
Pizza Hut
that. Yes,
program.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Where you get a pizza. I think that's where my like treat motivated. I just need a treat. Like that's where it
Yes.
started, I think.
Definitely.
Do you have a favorite book to TV or movie adaptation?
I'll confess a private thing. If I already read a book and I know the plot and how it goes, I tend to not watch those
Oh,
adaptations
really?
because I'm
Interesting.
like, again, life is short. I already know what's going to happen. So I kind of a dud on that basically.
Okay. I get
I
that.
choose I choose other
Yeah.
avenues.
I'm kind of the opposite, where I want to see the movie, especially if I really liked the book. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I got to see if they did this movie justice. And the book's always better. Like it just is.
A given. Yeah. Yeah.
But I go into it, for example, Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale,
Uh-huh.
one of my favorite things I've read in the last 10 years or whatever. It's going to be a movie here soon with the Fanning sisters, Dakota Fanning and Elle
Mhm.
Fanning.
Mhm.
And I'm very excited. There's no way they can live up to my expectations, but I'm curious to see them. I want to see them try. So,
Well, I'm curious, since you know that book very well, did you picture the characters in your mind physically
see,
a
here's,
certain way, and then here you know who's going to be cast?
yeah,
That's a crucial part of the matchup.
that is interesting, because the Hunger Games books, I read those after I saw the casting announcement. Like I didn't really know much about them. And then I saw, anytime there's casting done, people get upset online, like this person's not right, blah, blah, blah.
Right,
And so I
right.
saw some of this discourse. So then I went and read them. So yes, then I'm picturing like Woody Harrelson and stuff, like, but with the Nightingale, if I don't have something to have in mind already, I am so bad about, like, I know the authors take time to describe the characters. They kind of just end up being whatever I want them to be, honestly.
Yeah.
Like there were times, oh gosh, I'm going to forget what character it was, but I just assumed she was like blonde the whole book.
Mhm.
And then someone's like, "Oh, well, I think so and so should play her cuz she's a redhead." And I was like, "She is?" Like I
Right.
just didn't I overlooked that part in my head. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
It is just so, yeah, it's weird, like you saying that. I don't know what I really pictured. I don't know if I pictured blondes for the Nightingale, but that's an easy fix, like, because I don't know.
I
I just
think
when it's in France, so I picture more
yeah.
like, I don't know, dark
Uh-huh.
hair. I don't know.
I think a
But
lot of times we know when it's not right. Like,
yes, like
you know what
there's
I
just
mean? Like,
something
"Oh,
there.
that's not so and so." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There was Speaking of which, I read The Lovely Bones when I was in high school,
Mhm.
I think, and then when they made that movie, Mark Wahlberg was not the right for that dad at all.
Right.
Get out of here with your muscles. Like that is not what
Oh, that's funny.
they lost me with Mark Wahlberg. Anyway. Oh geez. And that's interesting, because that is, and our book club will purposefully go to movies or watch TV shows of books we've read, just to like compare
Mhm.
and contrast or whatever. Like most recently, we all got together to watch Remarkably Bright Creatures because we
Oh,
read that
yeah.
book.
Right.
But I mean, who doesn't love Sally Field? Like she can do no wrong. So
Yes, it's
it was
true.
That was good. Wow, I just got on a rant there about
That's
I
okay.
feel strongly about movies and TV adaptations, apparently.
Apparently. Uh,
I have a little series of rapid fire questions. Are you
okay.
up for the challenge?
Sure.
Coffee, tea, or something else?
So coffee.
Okay.
Only coffee.
What's your go-to coffee order? How do you like it?
Black.
Okay. Physical books, ebooks, or audiobooks?
Physical.
Okay. What's your favorite section of the library?
New books.
Ooh, the new stuff. Okay. A fictional character you'd invite to dinner.
One of Barbara Pym's leading ladies in her books because they're so funny.
Okay. What is the most underrated writing tool?
Journal.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, just start writing. The biggest writing distraction for you?
The fun of life.
Tell me about
Getting
it.
getting up off the chair, going out into the world. I love to go to plays and concerts and out to dinner and run around with people. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to sit and take the time that it, takes to put your head down.
Yes, it is. It's hard to fit it all in, that's for sure.
Yes, definitely.
What's one word that describes your writing style? You know so many words. I'm sure it's hard to.
Well, I know words that are said about me. I think it's hard for me to like blow my own horn.
Mm-hmm.
I would say consistently since I started publishing, people have used those words smart and funny. So
I would like to be called those things. I'll take it. And then I guess this can be work related, writing related, or just life related. But what do you still wish to accomplish?
more books, honestly.
Are you working
Um,
on anything now? Is there anything like
well,
in the
just like with my reading pile, I have usually 5 writing projects started at any given time. So yes. And it's just put it down, come back, have a new idea, come back. This one's nothing's happening here. Put that away, come back. So that's
Mhm.
my style. It's not efficient, but this is what it is.
Yeah, creative people aren't always the most like we're organized to ourselves. I mean, we know what we're doing.
Hmm.
So so there's that. You talked about your to be read pile. I know I have friends that are like the limit does not exist. My to be read pile can be or they'll go buy a book and their husband's like, "But you still have books." And it's like, "So?" So like
Oh, you have to be in the mood for that book.
exactly. So what is your like do you even know how many are in your to be read list or your to be read pile?
I do keep a list on my desktop that says to be read.
Yeah.
And what I do is the library will only let you put so many holds on at a time. So
Mhm.
I have to keep putting my 10 holds from that book list. And what I do is I read a lot of reviews and I'm on a lot of like literature sites and creative writing sites and see the pre-publication announcements. So when people like Elizabeth Strout, who I love, when they say 6 months from now she's going to have a new book out, I will always have that on my, to be a lot of times requested at the library. So
Mhm.
get to be on that list, and then the book comes in, and you're like, woohoo!
Yeah, those holds at the library and then the struggle is real when all of a sudden like 5 of them are available at once and you're like, "What?"
Always the way.
Always the way. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
I think my biggest stumbling block has been to gain confidence. So I would have tried to cultivate that confidence earlier, to say, regardless of what other people think, or regardless of how hard it is or how long the path, you still, you have the uh, ability to do this. You have the desire to do this. Of course, you're going to do this.
Mhm.
It took me a long time, and that's one of the great things about being older is you suddenly say to yourself, "Oh, I guess I do have a lot more confidence now when I look back than I used to." It was hard for me to get up the nerve to do a lot of the things that I've done, and even today, sometimes when I read things I've written, I'm like, wow, that one took a lot of nerve. And I don't know that I could have done that, 20 years ago or 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So
That
I
is
would have liked to have been bolder earlier.
Yeah, that is the beauty in getting older. Like I just turned 40 this year and it was a lot easier than turning 30. Like turning 30 to me for some reason was really hard. It felt like I didn't accomplish enough in my 20s. I didn't, all those things like society, I'm supposed to be doing this or that or whatever, but at 40 I felt like like I don't know.
Oh, wait till you get to 70 like me. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
this is pretty okay.
Yeah. You're releasing this book and you talked about doing, this is, you're promoting your book here kind of thing. Do you enjoy doing promotion for that, or would you rather just be behind the scenes writing, or is it harder to be out there like at parties and schmoozing and stuff?
I wish I would get invited to more parties. I love to read, so when I get to do a bookstore reading, that's really a treat. And I love talking to people. Like, this is really enjoyable, and I appreciate your time and interest and great questions. Other parts of the marketing and promotion are hard for every writer because we do all want to be in a room writing and not, not doing things outside. But one of my solutions to that is to say, look, I have limited time. I can't do everything, nor do I want to do everything. So what can I have someone else do and help me with? So that's been a big help. Like, I don't have to be the expert on every single promotional marketing, thing there is. So I can get help.
Yeah. If you want to tell everybody where to get your book, I'm sure your local library will have it. Or like where they can find you, see more events, or, just all that stuff.
Well, my website is kathyandersonwriter.com. I do want to say real quickly that my publisher, which is Vine Leaves Press, is doing a brilliant move. And my book is available on all the usual online booksellers. So Bookshop, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, etc. But if anyone out there wants to support particularly a female-owned independent publisher that's doing really wonderful things, they have their own shop. So it's vineleavespress.com. So you can buy directly from the publisher, which I think a lot of people don't maybe know it might be a new thing that it didn't used to be all that possible, but now it is. So they're great. And it would be great if a lot of people would like to support female owned businesses these days.
Girl power. I get it.
Yeah, totally.
Do you have any talks or events or anything coming up?
I have a Pride reading in New Jersey with a couple of other really great authors. It's at a wonderful independent bookstore in Haddonfield, New Jersey called Inkwood Books.
All right. Awesome. Are you on the social media at all, or have people do that for you?
I do it.
Oh, you do? Okay, great. If people want to follow you, how do we find you?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and all of those, and have iterations of my name, which is Kathy Anderson Writer. So Kathy Anderson Writer should get me.
Should find it. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. I guess that's all the questions I had. Was there anything else you wanted to say, or something I missed? I don't know. Is there anything?
You didn't miss anything, but I want to tell you what a pleasure it is to talk to someone with, again, such great questions, and you're just so relaxed. You make it easy for people like me. So thank you.
I try.
For the pleasure.
Yeah, it is always a little, even for me, a little awkward. Like when it said you were in the room, I was like, oh, she's in the room. Okay. But yeah, and I think this was fun. I've been doing this podcast for 3 years now, and lately I have been getting a few more emails from people like, hey, I don't know how people are finding me, but cool.
Great.
Kind of nice. Yeah. Enough men with microphones. We need more women out there, right?
You said it. Yeah. Thank you so much. It really has been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. And I'm good. I will read the rest of this. I swear. But I thank you so much.
There's no test.
Good, because I was a decent test taker, but I haven't taken one in a while. So, but anyway, thank you so much for doing this, and I'm excited to see what else you're working on, and
cool.
all the things. So,
and it's my pleasure.
Happy Pride.
Thank you. Happy Pride.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Talkin with Tasha. I want to thank Kathy Anderson one more time for being such a great guest. I really enjoyed speaking with her. I learned a lot from her, and I just really enjoy Vamoose as well. I keep reading these stories one at a time, and they all just really do make me go, oh. So make sure you check out Vamoose wherever books are sold. I also have links in the show notes to follow Kathy, find her book, the publisher, all of that. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Talkin with Tasha, our special Pride episode. I hope you have a happy Pride, however you choose to celebrate Pride. I hope it's a good one for you. You can listen to Talkin with Tasha on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, YouTube, or at talkinwithtasha.com. You can email me at talkinwithtashapod@gmail.com. You can also send me a private message, a DM, if there's something you want to, questions, comments, concerns. Make sure you like, share, comment, rate, review, subscribe. You know the drill when it comes to podcasts. We need you to do all these things as our dedicated listeners. We appreciate you so much. Okay. I think that's it. Is that it? Be safe, make good choices, wash your hands, just try to be a good person, stay hydrated. Happy Pride, and peace out, Brussels sprout. Bye.